Cameras, drones, and other recording devices have changed the game when it comes to giving accounts of some unbelievable things we may never have been able to prove before. From strange plantations to close encounters of an extraterrestrial kind, it's fair to say that some truly bizarre things occur out there. And without trail cams and the likes, no one would ever believe such things could happen. Want to see some of those things? Here are some of the most terrifying trail cam footage that no one was supposed to see happen. Evolution at our doorsteps. The first entry on our list is something that might make you wonder a little about the theory of evolution and what it might mean in the present day. As some of us may be familiar with the works of Charles Darwin and the theory of evolution, we might understand how we have many similarities to our primate relations. However, they may not prepare you for the camera footage which shows a pair of chimpanzees who are using a drone. Although they are our closest cousins, it's still somewhat disconcerting to see these creatures use these machines with ease. If you're familiar with such a subject matter, you'd know that scientists have been theorizing that some primates have entered the Stone Age in the last few millennia. But with footage like this, it might prove that they're further along in terms of the development of their intellectual and cognitive activities. We might need to get Charles Heston before these apes have their way with us. Elves in the forest. In our next entry, we look at some of the mythical creatures that wouldn't look out of place in an Enid Blyton book. The next clip shows us a scraggly and seemingly senile old man in the forest, giving us accounts of how he had made friends with a race of tiny elf-like creatures out in the woods. Although this might seem like the incredulous tales of a doddering old man, our skepticism is soon chucked into the bin once we notice these tiny pixie-like sprites, as they emerge from these shrubs and mushrooms in a similar manner to what you'd see in any fantasy book or film towards the end of the clip. Despite the footage, people just cannot get their heads around the existence of these Lilliputian fairies, and some have gone as far as to assert that the footage must have been doctored. However, as we've learned from our previous videos, you cannot dismiss the evidence before us just because it was deemed implausible. After all, this is not the first time such creatures have been caught on camera. I guess the real question is exactly what are these creatures and why are they hiding from us? The mysteries of the forest are truly something to behold. Strange plantation. From the mystical to something that just might be truly unexplainable, we head over to the South American country of Uruguay, where we take a look at a strange plantation formation found in the country. This plantation, consisting of over 20,000 eucalyptus trees, was mostly unknown to the world, until drones and Google Maps exposed the perplexing tree formation to the world. It's so strange, people can't exactly put a finger on what exactly the strange hilltop formation looks like. Some speculate that it looks like a chalice with a crown, while others think it looks like an elaborate candle holder. Despite this conundrum as to its appearance, what is perhaps even more disturbing is that although it's been determined that the massive plantation was planted about 50 years ago, nobody knows why this was done, as the plantation's shape can only be seen from the sky, and as the flight technology back then isn't as good as it is today. It makes little sense as to why anyone would make such a massive 1,640-foot long marker. Maybe one day the secrets of this plantation will be revealed. Sewer creatures. From something strange to something strange enough to be out of fiction, we head over to the sewers of North Carolina, where one of the most terrifying things that could only be found in the movies was discovered. As sewer maintenance workers went about their jobs, they came across something similar to The Blob, starring Steve McQueen in 1958. Unsurprisingly, this harrowing discovery went viral, as it was soon determined that nobody knows how many of these monsters are lurking underneath us. Understandably, this haunted the dreams of many of the local residents, at least until it was revealed that these blob creatures were only a massive colony of tubifex worms, or the giant tube worms. That being said, this doesn't get rid of the creep factor that comes along with these strange creatures. Hopefully they would never emerge from the underground lair to consume the entire world as a whole. Congregation of sharks. From something out of one movie set to another, our next entry reminds us of the Steven Spielberg classic Jaws. Still within the United States of America, but over at Florida, we observe as a drone caught something that defies the acceptable convention as to the behavior of sharks. For some time now, there has been a belief that sharks tended to stay away from the coastal waters due to the level of pollution found there. However, a massive congregation of black-tip sharks swimming within these waters has disproved this theory about these creatures' preference for the waters of the open sea. As you can see in the footage, there are hundreds if not thousands of these underwater creatures lurking underneath the glimmering water of Miami's famous beaches. This of course spells doom for anyone's summer vacation in Florida, because even though attacks from these sharks aren't necessarily fatal, it becomes alarming to learn that these sharks are responsible for the majority of shark attacks in this region. And it's doubly concerning that they are swarming the area like rats do in New York. Maybe it's best to book your holiday somewhere else. The Haunting of Berkeley Castle. In this next entry, we move away from an infestation to a haunting as we head over to the United Kingdom, which is believed to be the most haunted landmass on the planet. This theory was put to the test when in April of 2018, a drone enthusiast decided to record footage of the medieval 11th century Berkeley Castle, that's located in the town of Berkeley, Gloucester. Although the castle still belongs to the Berkeley family to this day, it appears that they have a phantom guest visiting their ancient abode. As the drone enthusiast recorded his footage in order to create a visual tour of the palace, he just happened to come across what seemed to be an apparition of a knight, racing through the castle's premises on horseback. Although some dispute what was seen in the footage, it's hard to ignore the fact that the footage shows that the drone began to malfunction as soon as it caught a glimpse of the medieval ghost knight. This is one of the most disturbing footage found from a drone in recent times, and if you needed any proof of the afterlife, this just might be it. Strange time for a meeting. We finish off this list with something less paranormal but more occult and perhaps even sinister. One strange night, a driver traveling through an innocuous highway recorded something right out of the scenes of an Ari Aster movie, when he happened to come across a group of men dressed in suits and ties and carrying suitcases as they congregated in the bushes beside this empty road. Stranger still, right after lighting a red road flare, the men were soon joined by what can only be described as another suited man wearing a disturbing goat head mask. As you try to get over the creeps, I feel that just like me, you're probably thinking this is a cult meeting, as the men run off into the bushes, never to be seen again. I'm sure just like the driver, you're left feeling disturbed about what exactly goes on at night.